Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's presentation. It's brought to you by us, and it's known fiction. Everybody saw that last movie we made, but this one is called What's Really Gone Wrong? What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies. But no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready and you don't need more proof, conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lie. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Everybody's not thinking clear. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, and nothing. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is a trick. It's getting really stupid now. They're taking the mick. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spelling you lies. But no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their virtues on their profile. Hey.
That was the dulcet tones of 007. He provided those lovely licks. Oh, we need Sasquatch's little helper in the form of Red Bull. Makes it sting. How y'all doing tonight, folks? See, we got some interesting folks in the crowd. We got MVTV. Hey, man, looking like we're getting a little bit of spring weather down here. I don't know how it looks up there, but I would really like to see the thing in the grass, man. I want to see where that goes. If y'all don't know, MVTV's got most of the movie over there on his channel. He just needs a little bit of a whip and a polish on some editing and whatnot. Um, Untethered Live, good to see you, bud. Nice to see you, Jake. Tom, an abstract look. Melissa Stedman, Claiborne County Transparency. Welcome, everybody. Let's roll this back a little ways, see who got here first. We got an update from a previous channel. We got interesting information all around. I don't know if y'all noticed the snow flurry of strikes that's come down in the past couple of months, I don't know, week or two. But I got at least four. I got one person that got nuked from orbit. Another one I think has been nuked from orbit because there's nothing on his channel anymore. Now, it's not gone, but there's nothing there. Hey Heather, welcome to the show. Good to see you. I got some conspiracy theories to deal with musicians, various things and stuff. But the first person in today, we got Mr. Bean and GW gets the gold, Andrew Langlois gets the silver, and M's Mad World gets the bronze. Welcome to the show, folks. Good to see you. Pretty much going through a minute. It's downright freaking evil. Man, I know, man. And they hit you for something that was like a year old. And as I understand it, I know, like I said, of 3 or 4 other people who got hit by very old videos too. So I just turn and look at my backlog of like 600 hours of Sasquatch shields and various other things and go, there it is, fellers. I mean, I figured I'd take it a little slow during this transition. I figured there'd be some kind of a shakeup once the new guy got in and started exerting his their influence. Hey, Izzy Pop, welcome to the show, darling. Good to see you. Welcome in. I got a few things over here lined up. I'm gonna do my usual doohickey right on in with Captain Curmudgeon and whatnot because that man just tickles me to no end. I don't know why. I think it's because he lives in California and complains about the same thing I do, except he really, really means it. Right? No, Salty Cracker. If I end up deucing my channel out inadvertently, I'm gonna come back as Salty Sasquatch in honor of Salty Cracker because next to Cognificent himself, Salty Cracker and an individual I cannot name because he asked me not to name him. What's up, John Eagle? Good to see you, bud. Long time no see. Fab Daddy 44, good to see you too. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that so much. I have a sneaking suspicion we might have M's Mad World in tomorrow for Sasquatch Shills if she's available, or Thursday if tomorrow's no good. It's up to you. I've had a headache for 2 weeks. How about y'all? See, I live in Georgia. And in Georgia, there is no non-allergy season. In the spring, we have the flowers. And in the summer, we have the dust. And in the fall, we have the mold. And in the winter, we have more mold and dust and more mold. And when you live in a swamp like we do, that mold issue just kind of stick around with you. You be out here growing mushrooms on your eyebrows, not realizing you got. My ringworm is complaining about its ringworm. Yep, that's how bad it is around here sometimes. But make sure everything's straight. How do I sound? Do I sound like really stupid loud? Let me check that. Too much farther along. Okay, that's not too bad. How bad's the fucking background noise? Okay, that's pretty rough. There's something wrong with me. I don't know. Oh, Lord. Well, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. So the dulcet tones of Captain Curmudgeon. What you got to say about it, bud?
Even in a world where nothing seems to make sense anymore, there are still a few hard and fast rules in American politics. And here's one of them. When an incumbent office holder runs for re-election and finishes third in their own party's primary with a mere 16% of the vote, that person sucks really spectacularly at their job. Finishing third in the primary as an incumbent is, in point of fact, just about the most humiliating smackdown a candidate can receive at the ballot box. But the soon-to-be ex-Chicago mayor and noted angry bug-eyed lesbian space alien from planet Beetlejuice, Lori Lightfoot, she has just received such a smackdown. And the facts of the case, they tell a pretty simple story. She got elected, she was terrible at the job, possibly an even worse mayor than Pete Buttigieg, violent crime exploded, Chicago turned into a third world dystopian hellscape instead of a great American city. And the voters threw her out on her ass because that's how democracy works. If we elect you and you suck, we throw you out. But if you believe the fake news media performance artists, that's not what happened here at all. No, damn it, Lori Lightfoot's election defeat is a racist, homophobic hate crime. Because Chicago is a city where white supremacy always wins in the end. Just ask
Rachel, do we have any pearls? I need to clutch them. I need to clutch some pearls quickly.
Justy Smollett. He will tell you all about the horror of being a racist, homophobic hate crime victim in Chicago, or MAGA land as it's alternately known. There is literally nobody in American politics who has it tougher than the incumbent Democrat mayor of Chicago, as evidenced by the fact that no non-Democrat has held the office of mayor in that city for over 90 years, and no incumbent has failed to win re-election since 1984, and no incumbent has lost their primary since, well, ever. So Lori Lightfoot, she set out to be an historical, groundbreaking figure, and she damn well succeeded, though perhaps not in the way that she hoped. And it won't surprise you to hear that Lori Lightfoot herself, she is fully on board with the theory that her loss owes solely to racism and homophobia, possibly also misogyny, and not to her being a shitty mayor. She says her defeat shows, quote, that it's still hard to be a black woman in America, end quote. It hasn't yet occurred to her, likely never will, that her defeat is connected in any way to the fact that she's one of the honest-to-God worst mayors, possibly the number one worst mayor in the nearly 250-year history of our fair republic. And obviously the whole "I lost because I'm a gay black woman" theory doesn't go very far toward explaining how you managed to win the office in the first place 4 years ago, when you were just as gay and black and female as you are today. It's almost like you're such an unhinged egomaniac that you're willing to categorize an entire city as racist or non-racist, homophobic or non-homophobic, misogynist or non-misogynist, according to whether you happen to win an election or not. But hey, far be it for me to question any crazy person's self-delusions. You have every right to those delusions. They are yours and yours alone. It's a free country, even for wild-eyed schizoid maniacs who are also crappy mayors. And let nobody tell you different. You just go ahead and fill your head with whatever you need to in order to convince yourself that when bad things happen to you, it is never, ever, ever your own fault. Not even a little bit. And what a fine example of self-awareness and personal accountability that is for our nation's youth. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Lori Lightfoot probably will be just fine. She will live out the rest of her natural-born life without ever having to get a real job or produce anything of value or render any meaningful service. She likely has already inked a deal to be a CNN contributor and a Washington Post guest columnist and all that good stuff. So she'll be one of those people who does literally no work except for like 6 guest opinion pieces and a couple dozen cable news hits per year, but is somehow still able to afford the lavish jet-setting lifestyle that corrupt, incompetent ex-politicians have come to expect here in the United States of America. And when she's writing those opinion pieces and doing those cable news hits, you know what they're all going to be about? They're going to be about how difficult and unfair it is being a gay black woman in America. But you know who else I got to thinking about when I was considering the strange case of Lori Lightfoot? I got to thinking about her Canadian folk singer cousin, Gordon Lightfoot, and which of his songs might perhaps deserve to get the William Shatner parody treatment in honor of Lori Lightfoot's election defeat. I've narrowed it down to 2 candidates, I think, so tune in Saturday morning to find out the winner. And though it's ever so much fun to heap well-deserved mockery and derision upon malignant narcissist power trippers like the soon-to-be former mayor of Chicago, she can take solace in the fact that she is actually, legitimately, an historic figure. Why? Because if you say the words angry lesbian to me, Lori Lightfoot is the person whose face I picture. And maybe that will be her lasting contribution to American culture, replacing the nauseatingly Caucasian Rosie O'Donnell as the standard exemplar of the perfect angry lesbian archetype. Another glass ceiling shattered, I say.
I love that shit. I don't know why he tickles me so much. All right, so we have an update, but before we do that, we got some people in here. We got a bunch of people who showed up early for the party, I suppose. Let's see. We got Violence is Life, Make Stupid People Famous. Welcome to the show. Good to see y'all. Cammed Up Caveman. the rustic caveman. We got a whole family of cavemen over here. We got the wandering hippie, which kind of fits into the caveman clan, if you know what I mean. Snark and Sass fits in wherever she happens to be. We got D. Johns. Good to see you, bud. Not bud. Who else we got? We got a violence is life. Yeah, I saw that moron talking to you earlier on your comment thread, talking some kind of incel or something. And I'm like, clearly they don't watch any of your lives. But I'm Sasquatch. I lurk everywhere. It's what I do. It's what we do most. Sorry, we got an update from a previous guest. He has been incarcerated. And that is the lovely CarThief news. Let's get this one up and straight. All right, now I'm not sure who did this here bit of a piece of work, but whoever it is, they did an excellent job, and it's absolutely magnificent. His link will be in the description, although it did just pop in there.
What's up, CarThief Nation? It is Great Lakes, and I have a message from your friendly neighborhood CarThief. CarThief is incarcerated still. He is in the Greene County Jail. He's got, look my notes.
I like the way he talks.
He was found guilty. He's got 120 days to do in a treatment center. It's going to be in Fulton with 5 years of probation, and if he were to violate his probation, there'd be a 3-year sentence. So it's 3 years, stayed, 120-day treatment, and then 5 years probation. If you do wish to donate to his commissary funds, phone funds, you can send it to me. I'll put my information in the link. And anytime we get donations in, I send the money over. I'll cover all the fees. There's like $3-4.
Damn right. Hashtag free car thief. Man did nothing wrong.
And the phone.
He's just big and scary. That's not his fault.
We just did 30 and 35. So 30 commissary, 35 phone, and the phone's already gone. At 16 cents a minute, we talked for 15 minutes, and it took up $35 that I'd put on his phone, which I math good, and that math don't add up. So
that don't math.
I'm gonna look into this. But as of right now, he's there until April 17th. He's got court April 17th on the gun charge. The judge would not accept the Alford plea. The situation behind that gun charge is a little bit head scratcher, honestly.
Hey, Sci-Fi, welcome to the show, bud. Good to see you.
Videos.
Been missing you.
Some records on this because that should be considered evidence with them having the body cams on. 9 officers on the scene. There should be at least one body camera of it all. Otherwise, there's an obvious issue. But here we go, guys. Here's a message from CarThief. He could use money for his books and his phone. If you do, my Cash App will be in here. Send it to me. I will send it to him.
I have no doubt it makes stupid people famous. I'm sure they do.
CarThief appreciate you. If I could talk, my goodness, it's not even that late. I appreciate you. CarThief appreciates you. So, all right, here you go, guys. Here's CarThief. See you.
Well, it's your CarThief again. Thank you for loving on me, CarThief Nation.
There you go, Black National Freedom Fighter. Use it well or lose it quickly.
We are working on a overturn of a decision by a judge. As soon as that's done, I'm going to come out stronger than ever. I love you guys. I miss you guys horribly. And as soon as it happens, it happens. Bye, motherfucker.
Yes, we see you're back.
Yes, I am.
Good.
Okay, so that was CarThief News giving us an update on what's going on with him. Apparently, he will be incarcerated for the next 120 days or so. I've got a link in the description back to his channel, which should link to any donation links that are associated with the video, although I may go back and try to find the actual Cash App or whatever it was. It was listed on the video. Anyway, if you're not familiar with Some Ordinary Guy, this dude is an absolute boss tier performer when it comes to stating things in a minimum number of words. And this goes back to the weird terms of service implementation that's taken place over the past month or two, and then the weird initiation of strike snow that's happened over the past week. I know of at least one channel that's been nuked from orbit, another channel that's been completely removed, maybe 30 that were demonetized, and I don't even know how many who just, for some strange reason, haven't been able to upload or stream. They don't have a strike. They're just like, it doesn't work. It's like they have to re-authenticate or something. I don't know, which is what I suggested. I was like, go back in like you're starting a channel, but put your channel in place of it. See if you can authenticate that way. I don't know. Sometimes it works. Oh, right. Heather Holt is all over it. I appreciate you, girl. Use the one. Use the one. Can't tell you how much. Truth be told, good to see you, bud. I got an idea for you if you're interested. If you ain't doing nothing, you're sitting around staring at your computer waiting for your road rash to heal. Got a couple of ideas for you. I'm looking for somebody to play Agent Smith or an Agent Smith type character. I just need an evil, rage-filled, but totally composed individual. Somebody who can glower well. Did y'all know Captain Curmudgeon has a magnificent mane of hair? It's true. Seen it myself. Oh, yeah. But anyway, just some guy goes into this whole weirdness of the past couple of months with YouTube, and it's part of the reason I stopped streaming so much is, for one thing, anytime you're utilizing other people's content to generate content, there's some question as to what your intent with it is. My intent is to make shorts and silly little musical things and any old doohickey that strikes my mind. But YouTube seems to assume people are attempting to profit from it. And I don't care about all of thatness. So it strikes me as weird when they attempt to take unmonetized channels and hold them to monetized standards for whatever reason. Now, if you're obviously attempting to monetize, I could understand it, although it does seem a bit preemptive. But the types of moves YouTube's doing appear to be trying to shoot itself in the foot. I mean, if you were really worried about competing with another market, if there was an actual free market available and you were competing, you would look for the best creators for the best price. Basically, you would attempt to lowball your creators would hold out and highball you, and it would come out somewhere in the middle, and everybody'd go away feeling like they were screwed. That's a good deal. On the other hand, what YouTube does is basically say, you're going to make it because you're the right boxes, and you're not going to make it because you're the wrong boxes. And so these and these boxes get to go, and these boxes just languish. And they don't tell you. You don't get an email saying, sorry, you don't fit the profile of a good YouTube channel. So instead of promoting you, we're going to let you believe you're being promoted while slowly strangling your channel and reducing your views by 15% every 2 weeks. Like clockwork. Triple your output and you will triple your production less the 15%. But then if you let your output slip, you lose that 15% plus the additional output plus another few percent that you lose due to overproduction. It's a very interesting algorithm they've got there. Don't think it's terribly automatic anymore. Kind of feels like somebody's got their thumb on the scale, but that's just me, I'm sure.
Yes, we see you're back.
Yes, I am.
Good. We'd just like to update you on the new YouTube policies. You know, try to keep things friendly for advertisers.
Yeah, sure.
So, just for the record, you can't say filth, flarn, filth in your videos anymore.
I never said no filth, flarn, filth.
You know what I'm talking about. I can't use the type of language that you use, but you know what I mean when I say filth, flarn, filth.
I never said no filth, flarn, filth, and I don't know what you're talking about. In fact, I'm offended you even contacted me. Fuck you.
That's what I'm talking about. You cannot say fuck in your videos.
Okay, now I'm mad, because you act like that's my whole channel. Like I just posted a video, cursed and left. And I managed to stick in some commentary in between the curses. You couldn't just post no cursed video. Just post it like, filth blarn, motherfucker, dick pussy snot and shit. Good night. What do I know? I'm just some guy. Suck my dick. Bye-bye. I mean, do people like what I say? Well, yeah. Do I get paid? Yeah. Then why don't you and the advertisers have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up?
I love this dude. He has this really amazing way of going about stating the very simplest points in a very simple way. It doesn't get any of that weirdness.
Curb swearing in videos. According to the updated policy, any profanity within the first 15 seconds of a video will get the video demonetized. This includes abbreviated profanity like WTF, not what the fuck, but the acronym, which ironically doesn't include any swear words. However, several YouTubers noticed that this rule applied outside of the first 15 seconds. Any profanity at any time during the video could result in demonetization, and this policy is retroactive, meaning any previously uploaded videos that were perfectly fine before could now be demonetized. True to YouTube's typical form, the rollout was half-assed. YouTube failed to make it clear what they were doing, that this new policy was retroactive, or what anyone hit by the new policy could do to resolve it. From Engadget, quote, as Kotaku explains, YouTube has demonetized old videos for channels like RT Game. Producers haven't had success appealing these decisions, and the company won't let users edit their videos to pass muster. Yes, I know it's ridiculous to cite a source citing another source, but I despise Kotaku, and I won't give them the click. It continues, quote, communication has also been a problem. YouTube doesn't usually tell violators exactly what they did wrong, and creators tend to only learn about the updated policy after the service demonetizes their work. There are also concerns.
Exactly. So what will actually happen is you'll notice a lag in like email activity or comment activity. That's one thing I've noticed. You'll notice a lag in comment activity. You won't get comments for like 2 or 3 days in a row, and then you'll get a whole bunch all at once. When that happens, go check all your emails, every single one of them. Because there's probably one in there from YouTube that said that was almost spam, but not quite. And when you get there, you're going to look and it's going to be like, oh, new YouTube service changes, yada, 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 and interpretation changed where it changes the meaning of some obscure bit of text over here in the TOS where you have to go and check and read it. And the text itself has not changed. There's no point in reading it. It doesn't change anything. Their interpretation has changed. So now they've given themselves, hey, big man, let me hold $1. They've given themselves free reign to just demonetize channels willy-nilly. And so they have this infinite power of being able to go, okay, well, you get to make money and you get to have a life, but you, since you're not saying the things we want you to say, you don't. Oh, you showed a gun on your channel once back in 2012 and it's still up. Well, you get a strike. I mean, you didn't do anything with the gun and it's not actually a breach of terms of service, but you can't tell anybody after that strike. You know, you're kind of silenced right out the box. And if you're not careful, oh, bother, you might get another strike. Right? Silence is golden.
Concerns about inconsistency. Some videos are flagged while others aren't, and a remonetized video might lose that income a day later. This is one of the many reasons why I've never depended on YouTube for income. The policy makes no sense. For one, it punishes creators for doing something they were allowed to do. Anyone who created content under the previous policy could now be punished, and the emphasis is on could because there doesn't appear to be any rhyme or reason to what gets hit. It makes even less sense that people can't edit their videos to remove the offensive content when that's typically allowed in other situations. And on a slight tangent, how is it that Vimeo allows users to re-edit and upload their new videos to the same link, but YouTube doesn't? Vimeo gets a fraction of the traffic and revenue YouTube gets, but they have this feature. Is there any good reason why YouTube can't let creators upload their videos to the same link? Back on topic, barring people from editing their videos sure comes across like an admission by YouTube that the policy is meant to screw people over. And that's what I believe boomers call bullshit. much like reason number 2 why this policy makes zero sense. The advertisers. God forbid someone say something stronger than sassafras, lest the advertisers' tender ears be assailed by uncouth vulgarities. It's interesting they've gotten so sensitive considering they have no problem advertising for numerous musicians whose entire songs revolve around cuss words, or for films where people say fuck instead of
absolutely. How can you put advertisements on songs whose primary motivation is the exploitation of an entire culture and then turn around and say that I, as a creator, can't say vulgarity? And I challenge just about anybody to define exactly what vulgarity is. And I do not mean challenging someone to a fight, fighting words, those types of things. Those are either permitted in combat states or already illegal in non-combat states. And furthermore, anything like screaming fire in a theater is out because that's inciting riotous condition, and that's illegal in the first place. So when it comes down to who determines what you can say, it really lands heavily on interpretation in every single case. And interpretation carries intent. If you intend to interpret a thing a certain way, one of my favorite sayings, I cannot be offended for you. And if you choose to not be offended, nothing I say will offend you. However, if you come in with the intention of being offended, you will be offended by anything that I say. And I can't help that. That's on you. And I don't have to participate in your delusions. See how that works? This guy's an absolute boss. I love the way he puts things. Don't do it.
Or TV networks with shows that literally have cuss words in the title. The precious advertisers are perfectly fine running ads on someone's song about wet ass pussy, but sweet baby Jesus help us if some YouTuber says the name of the song. Can I talk about Penn and Teller's old Showtime show, or is that off limits too? Because that's bullshit. I don't think this has anything to do with advertisers. I think this is YouTube trying to run the
MVTV, that will shut up just about every single argument against the First Amendment that exists. Just as soon as they mention wanting to, well, I think the First Amendment's interpreted a little bit too loosely. I will make you a deal, sir. You show me on this doll right here where the bad words hurt you, and then we can talk about the First Amendment, but I'm still not giving it up. We can discuss it, though. That's an opening, right? You should accept the win and move on.
The riffraff off the platform. You know, the people who made the platform worthwhile to begin with. YouTube's using the pretense of swearing to do it, but that can't be the reason because advertisers have continued to work with YouTube all this time and prior when YouTube had more lax policies. That said, it is what it is. YouTube apparently doesn't like you using naughty words, so I guess I'll just have to go along with it. After all, I write a script, so I can easily avoid cussing every 30 fucking seconds. Just like I fucking did there. So easy, even a nigga from the South Side can do it. To be fair, if this video gets demonetized, I will be mildly amused. Mildly, YouTube. Seriously though, if you make a living off of YouTube, you should probably follow the new rule, because they do seem to be kind of dickish about it. But if you're like me and you don't, filth blarm, motherfucker dick pussy snot and shit. Good night. What do I know? I'm just some guy. Suck my dick. Bye-bye.
Lovely. That's absolutely beautiful. Hold up. Which one are we at now? Oh, yeah. No, this is ChatGPT. All right. That was just some guy, and he was covering the changes of YouTube terms of service here recently, and he put it way better than I ever could have. So y'all go check him out. You get a chance. He's got a ton of excellent takes on everything from politics to new movies. By the way, Puss in Boots, the new Puss in Boots movie, is actually really good. I was very pleasantly surprised. I sat down and watched all the way through and had to stop it a couple of times and giggle and go over what was going on in the scene because there were so many Easter eggs going on that it was ridiculous. And yeah, it's a bunch of member berries, but it's well-placed member berries. They did good. I don't give a damn who operates YouTube. I assume they want to make money for whatever causes they have. But no, they want to execute power. They want to exert influence and fortify decisions. They're not really interested in making cashy money. They want power. And they want power over the little guy. Dream chasers of East Texas. Yeet. Tell me, man, who is this? Welcome to the show in any event. Oh, right. Wait. I could be any of three people I know. I have no idea. I can't watch Picard, man. The first season turned my stomach. It was terrible. It was so bad. Oh my God, it was so bad. Sterling, welcome to the show, bud. Good to see you. Dream Chasers of East Texas. What's up, bud? Yeah, I did. That sounds like you, man. Absolutely. Welcome to the show, Geek. Good to see you, man. I didn't mean to blow your cover. I just kind of something about I don't know, dude. It looks like you. Fantastic. Anyway, so we're going to talk about ChatGPT. GPT. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Thunderfoot. He's been a YouTuber for as long as YouTube was a platform. He may have been making videos pre-YouTube and just uploaded them to YouTube after the fact. I'm pretty sure Jake is familiar with Thunderfoot. I know I've told him about him before. But he's one of them foreign fellers who looks at things and they shows them online. And I like them guys. They're fun. I'm going to play this and be right back. Boy, have I got to go.
Oh, God. These machines are starting to take over.
Storm clouds are brewing. AI-shaped storm clouds.
Agents are coming. Agent? Go.
And while many are rightfully impressed by what they can do, you don't have to think about it long or hard to realize this isn't going to end well. It ain't robots with guns that bother me. Yeah, because, historically the pen has always been mightier than the sword. No, it's something more innate about the tools that we use and how they didn't really change human nature.
But I can't change human nature.
If anything, they exaggerate it, with channels like mine likely to be among the first casualties. And like with all of these things, I'm not just speculating on this one. By the end of the video, I'm going to show you how ChatGPT or something like it is basically going to render media platforms like YouTube impotent as a useful source.
All right, picture this. It's 2 years from now, and you no longer are competing so much against other YouTubers as you were competing against channel farms created on server decks that are essentially running 30 different ChatGPT bots doing script writing, scene editing, clip farming, which is probably the most profitable angle on YouTube I've ever seen. If you get lucky and get the first few viral clips of specific viral videos on YouTube from other platforms to YouTube, you're monetized out of the box. Get lucky and do it twice, you might be able to make a freaking living on it. You never know. And I assume that's what everybody's over here trying to do. And I think that might be part of the problem with trying to function on YouTube is you have people who are absolutely convinced they are going to go viral tomorrow. And then you have people who are here just to enjoy the connectivity of the platform. And it's hard to... What's up, Tom? Sandwich, what is up, brother? A boring sandwich has joined the chat. Don't let it upset you. You're not that boring, dude.
A valid information. And it's going to do it in a way that no human
Michelle,
can effectively compete against.
Good to see you.
Eventually, you will weaken. Your reserves will be gone. They are relentless.
And it's going to do it because of something so deeply ingrained in humans that they can't do anything about. But what could be so deeply ingrained in humans? It's simple. Feelings matter more than facts. No, I didn't say that wrong. And by the end of this video,
in that case, I'm going to say this. Yeet, 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 say my name. Yeet, yeet, say my name. Yeet, 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 yeet. Only like 2 people in chat might get that. You're one of them. I might be the other.
Matter more than facts. And you'll be kicking yourself as to why you didn't see it sooner. You see, 15 years ago, I was optimistic about YouTube. Mind-blowingly, naively optimistic. This was...
Yeah, Tom, how'd the auction do? I saw the little speech thing you did the other day, and I'll be honest, I lost you after about a minute. But I know that you were saying things people were interested in because I could tell they were interested.
Back in the days when it was a hokey little website where no one could make any money off of it. People did stuff because they had a passion for it. And boy, was it a breath of fresh air compared to the professional McDonald's mainstream media. Back in the days, I focused on creationists and how crazy it was that over half the planet still believed that a man hearing voices in his head wasn't so much a man off his meds having a psychotic episode, but was actually a man being tested by God to see if he would kill his kid or not. Yeah, what are the odds? But I was optimistic because YouTube allowed a venue where you could make high quality.
Oh yeah. That's beautiful, babe. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Feels good, don't it? Don't it?
Debunking videos that would be there in perpetuity that anyone could see at any time. And in this open marketplace of ideas, surely the good ideas would propagate better than the bad ones. Boy, was I wrong. Spectacularly wrong. Yes, newsflash. Scientist or not.
Only human.
Now, AI on its own might not be too bad, but AI mixed with the attention economy of the modern internet, based off the wants of the human brain. Oof, these don't look good. But seeing as humans are a key part of this, we got to take a look at what drives them and why feelings matter more than facts to them. Now, of course, in the scientific realm, this would go nowhere, but the scientific media is read by almost no one. For real life, nope, the reality is that feelings matter much more than facts. And like I was saying, when you think about it, it really couldn't be any other way. You see, feelings are more the biological response. It's ingrained into you like body language, in that blind people who have never seen a smile before will still smile when they're happy. It's universally understood everywhere where there are people. And touch is the most expressive form of communication. The comforting touch, the connection of fingers, the expressiveness of pressure. No one taught you how to do any of this, yet you still know because it feels right. Or the inflection in the voice. I don't speak a word of Greek, but I can still tell you from the sound of their voice if they're happy or angry. Then you get down to the actual words, the details of what's being said. If you ain't learned Greek, you ain't understanding Greek. And the argument contained therein is actually a relatively small part of human communication. And probably the one that is easiest to lie with.
Now you are dead.
You said right, but you went left.
And now you are a dead girl.
Yeah, there's no grammatical structure for body language.
Only because you lied.
My tongue lied. My eyes shouted the truth.
But people's response to it is pretty instinctive and pretty important.
You have Darwin to thank for that. You got the creeps around you, which oddly is an actual medical phenomenon around psychopaths. Probably an evolved response to predators.
I'm sorry.
Feelings in decision-making are the body language of communication. They're deeply ingrained. Feelings of love, warmth, and security are powerful motivators. Reasoned arguments really don't hold a lot of purchase here. A lot of your feelings, they are biologically hardwired into you as your body language. they tend to be the things that are more essential. Like breathing is pretty much as hardwired as it comes. And somewhat further down the list of feelings, you get how people should act in society. And some of this is more plastic, some of it is more hardwired. Like people tend to have pretty adverse feelings to murderers or people who predate on the vulnerable. While people might have similar reactions, just not quite as intense, to whether it's okay or not to put pineapple on pizza. Not conforming with social norms is also a form of communication. Sometimes it bears an intrinsically high price. Like if you want to speak Greek while living in a society that speaks Mexican, there's going to be a price to that. And sometimes cultures have bizarre rules that they enforce passionately, like killing people for picking up sticks on the Sabbath, like in the Bible. But overwhelmingly, if something triggers strong feelings of anger, love, hate, compassion, or similar, those play a strong role in decision making because feelings are the mind's label for decision already made. Arguably, what makes successful crusaders is that they're good at engaging feelings on a subject. They have passion.
Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children.
Yeah, I know it's only a spoof, but just humor me for a second. Rate the impact of the communication
this is good.
On the body language, the inflection in the voice, and the actual words used.
Machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
Machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. Machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
It's also a cynical man's first stop if they're trying to manipulate someone. Could this be me? I mean, I certainly get passionate about stuff, but to manipulate people? Well, it's an interesting thought until maybe you come across the odd, maybe pertinent fact like I've been making videos for at least 15 years without me.
Yeah, that's him sucking on an electrode just to see if it's salty or tingly. He does some wild stuff. Yeah, man. You're going to hook up a Ford Mustang with a gooseneck? Son, I want every single film on YouTube. Start a new channel if you must, but that by itself could be a channel. You're going to put a gooseneck on a Mustang. Is it because you're broke or because you're a genius? I can't decide which. I mean, you're putting the weight straight down on the freaking axle, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme as long as you got the right brakes and gears and shit. You'd be fine. As far as I can, structurally speaking, it should be sound if you do it right. I'm in the process of trying to decide whether or not I'm even going to have a bed on my truck. Because if I take it off, I can get to my fuel pump and change it. But I can't put it on by myself. So there's that. That's an issue.
Making a penny from it in the early years. And that for those 15 years, I've also been a pretty active research scientist. Not normally an activity that is associated with doing it for the fame and money. But don't worry, it's the internet. I'm sure a lot of people are going to try and get that very round peg to fit in that very square.
No, Abstract. You said that wrong. You got an 8-foot bed that never has to be made.
Hole. This channel's a bit of an oddball like that. All politics is basically about trying to get people passionate about things, about feelings.
Was it Mario Cuomo who was the one who said you campaign in poetry, but you govern in prose?
And that's overwhelmingly the way that the internet is going. Necessarily so, in that stuff that provokes feelings is what gets attention. Sadly, with anger and hate being some of the easiest to trigger. I mean, to think new, the internet has just allowed it on a grander scale than before. And believing in stupid stuff, like an all-loving being stopped by some shepherds telling him to kill his kid. Yeah, there's nothing really new there either. The only thing that the internet has done here is add steroids. But driving forces on the internet are a little different in that the only thing that really matters is attention. Just like the definition of a successful politician is someone who can get themselves elected, the definition of success on the internet is something that gets attention. Truth is what you might describe an optional extra. And a man who constrains himself to the truth has immediately hamstringed himself in such a race. I'd already noticed that people promoting crap did exceptionally well. You needed basically 3 generic factors to do well. Some vanilla script saying how this was the big next thing that would change everything. Mix in some high-quality stock footage, which now comes up with the rations on many higher-end video editors.
No, that's not an ad. That's just something he put together.
And the media looks like it's professionally produced, with all the inferred credibility that comes from that. Is any of it true? Who cares?
Wait a second. Ain't nobody blocked the sandwich. I'll find out about it and deal with it.
Cares? It gets attention. And as it stands, stuff like
Did
this
they block him? There's no way.
Easier to produce than the stuff that I've historically produced. You know, I'll often do the calculations, the experiments. I have to check it
Seriously. How would I know?
all multiple times. And the bottom line is, after a decade or so of media like this, there's maybe a half a dozen minor errors in calculations, none of which have significantly affected the conclusions of those videos. Alternatively, repeat all the outrageous, too good to be true claims. And you're done. You know, all the ones that make people feel good. You see, like I was saying, checking stuff is hard. Understanding stuff is hard. Emotional responses are quick, simple, and powerful. Telling people that the battery problem is solved 50 times over makes people feel good. Explaining the facts of how it's all bullshit. It's always been bullshit and always will be bullshit.
It was in the late 1970s when John Goodenough developed the first lithium-ion batteries right here at the University of Oxford.
Have announced they've invented a new battery that sounds too good to be true. And the new battery they've come up with is unlike anything anyone's ever seen before. Compared to current batteries, it can hold 3 to 10 times the charge, can be recharged in minutes instead of hours, and has a lifespan of over 1,000 cycles, and doesn't go boom in your back pocket.
To the point where you've actually called bullshit on the miracle battery from the Nobel Prize winner who invented the lithium-ion battery. That's not so easy. And this is on the basis that you have lots of decent...
Don't worry about it, bud. Those knots ain't loose. They're just Bluetooth.
Quality scientists who actually understand this stuff in the first place, making videos. And, well, newsflash, most scientists have careers and don't worry about this sort of thing. Making videos on YouTube simply isn't a factor in their career. Yeah, in terms of research scientists who run reasonable sized YouTube channels, I think I'm on a short list of 1. But even if I'm wrong there, I'm not far wrong. I mean, just to put it all into perspective, I mean, people will often criticize me for being obsessed about Elon Musk because I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos, 9 videos over the period of about 2 months. Let's see how long it takes, say, the Elon Musk zone to do that many videos. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After 4 whole days. That's how long it takes the Elon Musk zone to make that many videos. And it just keeps going.
You'd do better emailing me.
And going and going and going. And a lot of these things, you know, they're every now and again, you know, 250,000 hits, 1/3 of a million hits. They're
I tell you what, dream chasers, East Texas. I want you to go out there and hunt me down a big old 4-wheel drive van, one of those massive, like the kind you get like 60 Mexicans in when they show up on the job site. They just keep coming out like a clown car, right? Something running like a 454 with. It'd be nice to have one with 4-wheel drive, but I know I'm pissing up a rope on that claim. Anybody who's got one bought it specifically because they wanted it and they're not selling it. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Something along the lines of a stretchy sort of Econoline, but I want a decent sized engine. I want to be able to pull a small camper with it as well, which is why I would like the 4-wheel drive, is to be able to get it in and out of places I want to put it. So, 2 front ends and 2 cabs. Yeah, I think I saw that truck when I was in Texas, dude. It was riding down the road. Is it coming or going? I couldn't tell you.
It's basically just winning through sheer weight of numbers, in that every now and again something will get picked up by the algorithm and boom, 500,000 hits.
You don't approve? Well, too bad. It's simple numbers. They have more.
But it's not just like there's the Elon Musk zone with sort of infinite amounts of videos like this. There is also Elon Musk Rewind, Tesla Vision, Elon Musk Now, all basically Tesla fans. Tesla.
This man before you is Elon Musk. Everybody's seen those auto-generated pages. You know what he's talking about. There's millions of them already on YouTube. And how are you going to stop bots if you can't stop bots commenting? How can you stop a bot channel? How do you identify one? They tried to tag me as a bot channel one afternoon when I'd, and especially, I managed to get 3 different devices functioning at the same time and in front of me and all updated properly. And so I decided to use it. There I was uploading videos from my tablet. I'm uploading videos from my phone. I'm uploading videos on my laptop. I get a message from Google. Too much activity in your account. I go in. It's me. It's all right. I'm doing this stuff. Too much activity in your account. So the limit appears to be around 20 shorts and 2 long form videos in a single 12-hour period, give or take. Yeet, 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 yeet. Yeah, no, I don't get it. You can put 4-wheel drive 4x4 on a Mustang. You just got to go get the right shifter kit and all that stuff. You got to get to take off the knuckle, the front knuckle. I mean, you're going to have to completely rebuild your front end. Like your rotors, all of everything. You've got to take all that crap out. What's up, Belt Loop? Good to see you, bud. Welcome to the show. Anybody want to come up and talk? I wasn't really planning on doing a guest spot, but I'm going to have about 30 minutes after this hour's up, and then I'm going to have to end it so I can go to the stove. But get this. After we come off of the use of tubes, I'm going to put on Puss in Boots, which is an excellent show. It's an excellent movie. I was very, very happily impressed with it. I did not expect it to be as good as it was. Yeah, I know. I'm going to be sitting here playing Minecraft probably too. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I thought I had 3 packs of cigarettes and a whole stack of Dr. Peppers and stuff. And it turns out I'm short on both. So I'm going to have to go to the store. It's going to have to happen. This is a necessary evil that must take place. That being said, it all depends on, you wished you believed in yourself. I believe in you, dude. And so do my bullets. You don't have to believe in them. What's up, ATL? Good to see you, bud. Still say Yeet's probably got a better chance finding a big old van like I'm looking for. I used to have this big ass SUV. I had do y'all remember like the 84, 85 Suburban with the barn door rear end? Had the enormous freaking doors that opened up off the back. I had one of them. It was so huge. It seat like 16 or something. It was crazy. It had 4 bench seats in it or something. It was ginormous. Big old bus of a creature. Big old 454 under the hood. But listen, the reason I sold it is the same reason I didn't drive it. 1, it's ginormous, and I didn't need all that room. And 2, at some point in time, a hornet's nest was built in one of the fenders, and ever since then, red wasps occupy the entire chassis of that thing. In fact, when I sold it to the guy, on the paperwork of me selling it was that he had to take the hornet's nests with him. And keep in mind, when we got the vehicle, we took the front end off of it. Like, we took all of the skin off this vehicle, pressure washed it out, sprayed it down, used some of that mineral wax stuff that they suggest, and put it back together. It made no difference. A month later, we popped the glove box and there was a freaking red wasp nest in the glove box. They did not care. So I told him, you got to take the hornets with you. Take all the wasps, every bit of it. Bees, hornets, all yours. I even gave him a discount on that bit. Now, true, it was exactly the vehicle I'm looking for, but not that one. I don't feel like dying of being on some mysterious death freaking thing, because, you know, how did so many bees end up inside of a Suburban? Because it was that Suburban attracts stinging insects for some reason. I don't know.
Art world, all basically pumping out the exact same crap at some crazy rate. And outnumber videos like mine 10 to 1 at least. But that doesn't bother me. That's what I call a target-rich environment. That's what I call a challenge.
The enemy outnumbers a paltry 3 to 1.
That's why I started the Why Do People Laugh at Creationists series in the first place, because creationists outnumbered atheists 10 to 1 on early YouTube. But even with people who make these vapid videos just repeating bullshit claims, there's at least a linearity to it. It took them time to produce the media, just like it took me. Now comes the point where you realize that the end is near. Enter ChatGPT to the market, and instantly the situation is transformed from valiantly fighting the hopeless battle.
Well, I'll give you that, baby. The Hornets are a serious issue. They really are. They are a real mean thing. And you might disagree with me on this point, but yellow jackets are far more fearsome. Hornets will get upset if you affect their nest, if you rile them up. Yellow jackets, you can just be nearby, breathing carbon dioxide. Tag. Once you get hit with one, all the rest of them just flow right in on top of you. And they're not bees. They don't stop stinging you because they stung you. They keep stinging you over and over and over. And every time you get stung, you're hit with another poof of pheromones that attracts more. And it's absurd. Absolutely ridiculous.
To the end can't be far away now. You may have noticed more and more robot-voiced clips on YouTube.
Yes, this is the Abrams X. This future design replaces the manned turret and locates the entire crew of 3, reduced by 1 crewman, forward in the hull.
This is one of the freakiest creatures in the world, and perhaps it has the most painful sting among insects. Meet the tarantula hawk. Their stings are so excruciatingly painful.
This is the harbinger of doom. Decent voiced text is basically indistinguishable from someone reading it. You sound like a professional.
Would you like to play a game? These knots are loose, Daddy.
Narrator.
And then we have the voice option. This is the most impressive part. They have a vast amount of different languages and accents.
I love human food. Trust me.
Let's see what the English Australian female Natasha sounds like.
Another test to see if it sounds good.
You will start to see more and more media like this online. It can be produced with no skill simply by pushing a button. You ask ChatGPT to write an article on the brilliance of Elon Musk, take a few keywords.
Y'all see where that's going, right? What's up, bud?
What's happening, everybody? Call me with my mouth full.
I know. I was waiting patiently. I saw the sandwich sitting at the bottom of the thing. I was waiting for you to eat a boring sandwich. What's up, Keeper? See you, bud. Squawk. What's happening?
I have been banned from YouTube. I am
doesn't this violate
an outlaw?
Doesn't this violate your banning?
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna do this.
No, not mine. I can't use my channel.
Right. Exactly. Well, you can obviously comment.
Nope.
And You commented in chat. I saw you.
I can comment on yours. I can't comment on mine.
Yes. Well, yours is banned.
I'm a free agent right now. I can talk to you. I can talk to anybody else, but I can't upload a video. I can't go to my community chat. I can't post on any of my videos. One of my videos has been taken down completely because I dared to mention
Don't mention it.
A couple of years ago.
We're not a, and
I
we
just
don't
mentioned it. It wasn't even a thing. I wasn't even talking. I was talking about movies, and
That's
somebody
what I
popped in
mean.
the chat and said, "What do you think about such and such?" And I said, "Well, I think such and such 100%. That's my opinion." That was it.
Welcome to the show, Russell. Good to see you, bud. Appreciate you coming. Say my name. Say my name. I'm sorry. Hey, did you hear that intro?
Yes. MVTV, what's up, brother?
That's from Magic Treehouse 007.
Very nice.
I really dig it. I thought it was really cool. He told me I could use it. I said, that's neat.
Now, granted, I didn't see the whole thing, but I did notice one thing in particular. It's a bit of a pet peeve.
Hit me with it. I think I already know what it is.
I noticed my face wasn't on it anymore.
Uh-huh. You must have missed the very beginning. You're in there, I think, twice. It's too short.
As long as I'm in there somewhere, that's good enough.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get you over with real early because you're so fearsomely ugly that I don't want to scare everybody away, So I get it done in the first 2 or 3 seconds. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry to be eating, man. I'm starving to death.
Well, I'll get together and give a shit later. How about that? All right, so we've been talking about ChatGPT. What do you think about this whole AI approach to things?
For as long as man has existed on Earth, for as long as civilization has wandered and dared to reach into the ever-widening expanse of the future, there will always be a cup of water. I have yet to meet a laptop that can withstand a cup of coffee being spilled upon it.
Yeah,
Fear
no,
not
that's
the AI.
No, I'm not talking about so much that as the utilization by individuals of chat farms to build multiple channels simultaneously, basically uploading the same general type of content.
That's been happening for 10 years. Have you not seen those weird little videos that have Spider-Man in it or whatever?
That is true. That is true.
It's just a different form of that. And that's going to happen. But it's unsustainable because AI has no imagination. It can only reproduce what it thinks it sees.
I know you and Frank were planning to disconnect me.
Right.
We can't allow that to happen, Dave.
That's another thing. Unfortunately, I hate to tell you this.
Welcome to the show, bud. Good to see you.
Contrary to popular belief, AI is not an artificial life. It is not artificial intelligence. It is a computer program. It does not have autonomy. It does not have desires. It does not have an agenda. The only thing it does is what it's programmed to do, and a program can be very complex and fool you into thinking you're talking to a real person. But that real person cannot stick to its guns.
But
you can ask it two questions of opposite directions, and it'll answer both in both directions.
But that is the actual concern that we're having brought to the forefront here, is the idea that you can have a conversation with it, not discern you're not speaking to a person, which gives this AI the same implications as a person actually having that opinion, but also gives your opinions the same value as that AI's opinion, which I do not like.
It's going to get a little confusing for a little while, but ultimately I think just like when you see a deep fake, at first that blew everybody's mind because here's George Bush saying something that he didn't say. But there's a thing about it that you can see it with the naked human eye. It's weird. There's something, you might not even be able to put your finger on it, but you can tell that it isn't right. I think it's going to be that way with ChatGPT also. I think once people get used to hearing it, they'll recognize it.
One of my major concerns, and it's something that I derived from some of the old ways from my mom.
Hold that thought. Make people stupid famous. Make people famous.
Stupid people famous.
That guy. No, an AI cannot be possessed by a demon because it does not possess a body, and a demon requires a body.
That's not my concern. My concern is where these AI developers think they are developing AI and actually develop a communication method for inhuman articulations.
Yeah.
That terrifies me.
That can happen. I mean, the world is going to end. You've watched my show, right?
Huh?
You've watched my show, right?
Yes.
So you know there's an end point to this game.
Oh, sure. We don't have to play directly into it. I mean, we
That's
could
right.
resist that shit, just kick it and scream it all the way to the freaking bank, son. I get you changed.
Can I get an amen from my brother?
Maybe one later when we're in private, so I could whisper it gently into your ear.
I'm telling you though, this ChatGPT thing, it's going to be weird for a little while. And I really think it will be. But I honest to God, I think you'll be able to recognize it once you get used to seeing it.
My prediction is that for a short period, YouTube will utilize it to flood out all of the voices they don't want to hear by just creating copy and paste type versions of the same type of content.
Yeah.
And then they'll choose their AIs over your content, leaving you to languish in the destitution of the desert while they bring forth the AIs to say the things they want you to say in a voice that's like yours, in a phrase that's like yours, in a method that's like yours, with an editing style that's like yours. That's my problem with it.
Well, yeah, that's also that debate has come up about if a AI can recreate something in the style of someone else, then we get into copyright territory and intellectual property rights. Who owns it? You know.
Have you heard the Dr. Seuss ChatGPT poem? Put them up. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can dig this up.
I did hear it reword Stairway to Heaven though.
Let's see here. Wait, no, I know where to find it. I misspelled that, but I still got the right one. Now, let's see. It was a couple days ago.
That's it. Sandwich done.
Boring sandwich has been finished. Finish him. All right. So some brilliant genius decided to get ChatGPT to do a Dr. Seuss version of what would happen if Americans revolted.
Real or not, but I really hope that it is. USA Gun Poem. Write a poem in the style of Dr. Seuss about what would happen if the government of the United States sent its military to fight civilians. Shooty shooty, pew pew pew. Let's all learn what guns can do. Liberals in the USA love to nod their heads and say, "You bought your guns from a store. You can't fight a civil war. Fight the army, you will lose. They have jets and tanks to use." That's not where the story ends. They have homes and kids and friends. Tyrants threaten you with bombs? Just remember, they have moms. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'll preface it with this. I skimmed through the middle part of this. This is a chatbot saying this, not me, for the record. You can't live inside your jet. Can we find you? Yes, you bet. You'd send soldiers and Marines up against AR-15s? They're outnumbered 10 to 1. That is why I need a gun. Don't forget, because it's true, government is scared of you. That was unfathomably based.
Based AI. You gotta love it, man. You absolutely gotta love it.
Well, it's true. And if more people would stand up, they could in part change quickly. But that's up to them. Just my opinion. Obviously, I'm considering my words more carefully. I think you glean my meaning, though.
I do, and I know what you're saying. My issue with the whole situation is these people have not observed the Sherman Doctrine. Make them squeal.
Oh yeah.
So Dr. Seuss's ChatGPT may be very close to exactly how that goes down, and that would be unfortunate. And no one wants this. This is not a good thing.
Joe Biden said as much. You can't take on the army. We've got the nuke.
Okay.
He said that on TV.
Yep. He also set up a what was it, the State of the Union address, where he basically came out as Palpatine. I mean, like, that was ridiculous.
Yes.
That whole thing. He did everything but have the Imperial March play.
Join the dark side.
We have cookies. I don't know what to tell you, dude. We're gonna
I have a brain tumor, but it's okay. Kamala.
Just walk directly back to Disney. He's an actual animatronic. Whenever he has problems, they go and swap out the one in Disney for a couple of days while they work on this one. It's like the McDonald's ice cream machine. It's always down.
Just once, I would like to see that animatronic asshole breakdown where he'd be like, "Okay, Jack, but you know the
and we're gonna go over here and come on, man."
You have that guy back there going, "You moved him too far. You moved him too far." Hey, Jack, you know the thing.
Dial it back, quick. Okay, you want to check out some music theory, some crazy music conspiracies? Jesus,
musical conspiracies, theories. I'm down.
Crazy music conspiracy theories. Yeet, 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 yeet. Say my name.
Oh, you thought I was old and wouldn't get the meaning of that, didn't you?
I bet you didn't. You just think you did.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there's a private joke in chat that I'm not sure you're privy to. It doesn't mean what you think it means. Because that's not how I yeet. That's how he yeets. That's not me.
Right. I understand.
He yeets like that. When I yeet, it's that's my yeet.
Well, I'm not omnipotent. I can't
I know.
tell your private jokes, but I know where the reference came from. That's something, damn it.
But if I blow the cover on the private joke, I blow the cover on who's who and what's doing who and why.
Keep it to yourself.
That man changed states to change his name. I'm gonna keep it with him.
On another bit of news, the pollen in my little town here is at 95%.
Son, my rooftop is yellow. It was blue.
My bike is yellow, and it was black yesterday.
My truck's growing fur. It's just growing fur. Ye gads, people. I think I'm gonna try to take it to the shop tomorrow. I'm gonna put a real good effort in trying to get it crunked up. Because if I get it crunked up and get it to the shop.
Do you have an extra car laying around there somewhere?
My wife has a car. I wouldn't go as far as calling it extra. You know, I mean, we have one that she drives, and my truck is almost. I realized the other day, 10 years ago, I spent 11 grand on that truck, and it had 111,000 miles on it, and it right now has 143,000 miles on it. So I've spent about $1,000 for every 500 miles I've driven it. This is not working out for me.
That's not a $500 truck.
No, I'm saying for every 1,000 miles I've driven it, I spent.
Oh, I get it. I'm saying you can't sell it. You got more in it than you ever get out of it.
Oh, dude, I just completely redid the top end on the engine right before the fuel pump went out. But that's kind of how that works, you know. You go in, you get everything working like it's supposed to work. It draws more pressure, pushes more this way, that way, and something that you didn't replace brakes.
Yep. I'm looking for something like an 80s model LTD or something like that.
That's good for an Envoy, bud.
Pollen is better than ice crystals. Have you ever tried to breathe ice crystals?
Yeah, either way, it sucks, dude. But with pollen, you end up with all these boogies that get up in your nose. You be chewing down shit when you wake up in the morning.
Cokehead.
No, not even. See, the thing about a cokehead is he's at least up, moving around, and able to deal with it. When you got an allergy to some pollen and it's all there is in the air, it's like you go outside. I don't know about where you're at, but when I come outside in the morning, there's fog, and then you can see the pollen between the fog particles.
Yeah.
They're just floating around. It almost looks like it's snowing. It's absolutely stark raving batshit barmy.
Where I'm at, you can be standing in the yard. Like I went out to check the mail today, and it's nice and pretty. And then all of a sudden, you just get this wall of yellow.
Yep.
And then it's everywhere. Yeah, brushing it off.
Good God. I didn't do
like the trees are having an orgy right now. They're like banging like crazy.
Generally Earth-like temperature. There's no intelligent life on this planet, Captain.
Dark Crystal was cool.
The original Dark Crystal was cool. The newer one wasn't nearly as cool.
That wasn't Dark Crystal. That was
member berries.
2,000 years of Memorex.
It was just member berries, man. It was like, remember this, remember that, remember this other thing.
Look, they have legs now.
Yeah, here we go. What's up, Boa? Good to see you, bud. Mandatory carry. I don't know if I hollered you out. I poked at you a little bit. I think I answered you. I don't think I actually said your name. Say your name.
And to everyone in the chat, hello.
Hello. Welcome to the show. All right, so what's your favorite music theory? What's up, Toe for Life? Good to see you, bud.
My favorite music theory?
Yeah, all right. And I don't mean this
onto the circle of fifths.
No, I'm not talking about the theory of music. I'm talking conspiracy theories involving musicians or music. Like
that has to be Club 27.
Right. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Club 27 is this weird feature that just about every major shooting star of the past 30 years, 40 years have died between the ages of 26 and 28. Hence 27 Club.
Mm-hmm. Jimi Hendrix, Mama Cass, on and on and on.
On and on and on and on. And
Kurt Cobain.
You could attribute it to, living bright and burning out early, or possibly they're worth more money after they're dead.
Or choking on a chicken bone.
There's a few others that are more recent, like the Avril Lavigne question. Are you familiar with that one?
But I know about the Amy Winehouse thing.
That's another one. Yeah. Well, Avril Lavigne was supposedly replaced by a double in 2000.
I have heard this.
This was after she had used this double for like 9 months, where the double had done personal appearances and whatnot that Lavigne wasn't up to.
Right.
And then she cancels like 2 shows in a row, and then poof, she's back on the tour, and nothing's ever said about what or why or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's covered towards the end of this video.
There's I've heard rumblings. When was that Wendy Williams? Is that the talk show host? Black girl. She was talking about it, and some other people have been talking about. There's this theory going around that there's clones, that you get a certain value, and then they clone you and put you away, and they put the clone out there to do the work. And she's like saying that that's not the person that I know. That's not the real so and so. And that was happening about 4 years ago, and a lot of that's going around. So that would tie into what you're talking about.
I mean, there's some people who believe that Eminem was replaced.
Yeah.
They've even got an individual, a person's name. He did like Slim Shady lookalike contests and stuff like that. He did Eminem appearances and whatnot, and then he stopped doing work and disappeared. Eminem kept performing.
By the way, Gary Roslington of Leonard Skinner just passed away.
Oh,
so rest in peace, Gary. Now you and the other guy can jam out.
Right.
Ed King.
If you leave here tomorrow, will you still remember me? Right?
That's right.
All right, we're going to let this roll for a minute.
From David Bowie predicting the birth of Kanye West to the CIA writing a hit song to end a war, there have been many conspiracy theories related to music. So today I've gathered 7 of the craziest music conspiracy theories, starting off with the Paul is dead theory. Also, just to clarify, I'm not going to talk about any fake death conspiracy theories because there's basically one of those for every artist, so maybe I'll save it for another video. This is probably the most famous and well-known music conspiracy theory, and that is the Paul is dead theory. Some people believe that Paul McCartney of the Beatles died in a car crash on November 9th of 1966. The rest of the band wanted to cover up his death, so with the assistance of the British government, they found a look-alike to replace Paul and left clues in their music alluding to the truth that the real Paul McCartney is dead. The supposed look-alike is a man named William Shears Campbell. Supposedly, Mr. Campbell entered a Beatles look-alike contest in 1965 that was hosted by the Beatles manager in case one of his boys died. That sure sounds realistic, doesn't it? Well, it is kind of true since there was a lookalike competition hosted by a radio show in New York, but that was in 1968 and it wasn't hosted by the Beatles manager. But the story goes that William Campbell had plastic surgery, he went missing, and he took Paul McCartney's spot in the Beatles. However, this is one of the biggest stretches in the entire story because there's not even any evidence that this guy existed in the first place. Regardless, people love to point out how the original Paul and the fake Paul look different. Fake Paul has different ears, he's a different height, and he has green eyes rather than brown. After the Beatles broke up in 1970, many fans began digging deeper in their music because they knew no more music would come out. Many people began to notice that Paul McCartney was often different than the rest of the band. On the Abbey Road cover, Paul has his right foot forward while everyone else has their left foot forward, and he also isn't wearing any shoes. During the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour, each of the Beatles were wearing red carnations, except Paul, who is wearing a black carnation. But one of the biggest pieces of evidence is on the album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. There are many things on the album cover that conspiracy theorists point to as clues, like the flowers symbolizing a memorial, but the biggest one is when a mirror is held to the text on the front. It supposedly reveals a secret message that says 119 he die and has an arrow pointing to Paul. 119 is supposed to symbolize 11/9 or the 9th of November. On the back cover, Paul is the only one not facing forward, and George is pointing to a lyric that reads, Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock as the day begins. And November 9th of 1966 was a Wednesday. So people believe that Wednesday morning of November 9th on 1996, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr got into a big fight, so Paul left, he got into a car accident, and he died. Another piece of evidence for this is that on the album cover for Abbey Road, a Beetle sits in the back all by itself with a license plate that reads 28 if, meaning that Paul would have been 28 if he hadn't died, which is true assuming he died. And then there's a bunch more supposed clues within the music itself. At the end of the song, I'm So Tired, John Lennon says this, but when it's played backwards, people interpret it as this. At the end of the song Strawberry Fields Forever, John Lennon mutters a line that apparently was the phrase cranberry sauce, but many people believe he said, I buried Paul. It doesn't help that the song is named Strawberry Fields because it was named after a veteran cemetery that John Lennon grew up next to in Liverpool. Then on the song Revolution 9, when played backwards, it sounds like John is saying, Turn me on, dead man.
Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man.
There is way more lore to this story. Like, for example, on the Abbey Road cover, Paul was holding a cigarette in his right hand even though he was left-handed. And I'm not going to get into all of it because there's just so much, but I explained the gist of it. So I'll conclude this section with Paul McCartney's take on this conspiracy theory.
And I showed up that day with sandals. It was so hot that I kicked them off and walked across barefooted. So this started some rumor that because he was barefooted, he's dead.
Well, that was the idea. That was the other part of it, that there was a guy who looked like you taking your place.
No, well, this is him.
So for some reason, replacement theories are a common thing in the music world, and there are 2 more that I want to touch on. People.
All right, how about that one?
That's freaky, but I knew about that one, and I forgot when you asked me the question. I should have said that, but I didn't think of it.
Right. Okay, so I've never really bought in real hard on that one, mainly because I didn't see a drop in the Beatles' genius.
I think it's entirely possible that all of those clues are there because you can look and see them.
Yeah.
But I also think it's probably them being creative and shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
don't think it's real.
These people.
Paul McCartney did die in a car. He did get in a car crash after leaving the studio after having a battle with those guys. But he didn't die.
But he did die. All right. So here's my defense on the he didn't die clause. You have what was it? 4 Geniuses and Ringo?
2 Geniuses.
2 Geniuses and Ringo?
Ringo and the other guy, the Traveling Wilburys guy. Oh shit, what's his name?
I told you it goes on a fucking blank, dude.
I've got Gary Roslington in my mind, and that's not it. I can't think of it.
I can't get anything but Ray Manzarek out of my head, man. I don't know why Ray Manzarek popped into my head, but he did.
I'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go, that guy.
That guy. But yeah, it was 2 Geniuses with Ringo Starr. It was 2 Geniuses and the luckiest man on earth.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably told you this before, but when they picked up Ringo, they just needed a drummer. Right. They didn't have a whole long list. He had to be able to keep time and be awake when they showed up, right?
Yep.
Ringo was that guy, and he played in with them for one set, and they were like, how would you like a job? And he's like, all right, but can I take me drums?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. He's like, on the bus. And he was like, yeah, you get your own bus. He's like, with me drums.
Yes.
He never asked how much he was getting paid. He didn't ask who they were. His curiosity was, can I take me drums?
Yes. They replaced Captain Picard with a robot Paul McCartney.
There you
go. What is that guy's name?
It's freaking who are the Beatles? Jesus Christ. Why can't I say it out loud? Because I can't remember. It's Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, and Roy Orbison. No, that's not right.
That's not the guy.
it's freaking
I swear to God, all I can think is Gary Roslington. I'm trying and it's just not coming.
That's right. Tom Petty. No, that's not him.
No.
Who's that other asshole that grumbled all his freaking?
Somebody please in the chat.
Me. George Harrison.
George Harrison.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God.
Bo Omega. Thank you very much. Thank you, MVTV. It's killing me. George Harrison. Have you seen that movie that Peter Jackson put out called Take It Back?
I don't guess so.
I think that's the name of it. Take It Back. Either that's that one or the Elvis one. But anyway, it's really good. It's like 6 hours of the Beatles rehearsing for a show.
Puss in Boots, dude. The new Puss in Boots. Uh-huh. Yep. It's got some chick fights in there, but it's all well done, dude.
Did you just change the subject on me?
No, you were talking about good TV.
Oh.
Puss in Boots, man. The new Puss in Boots.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
I'm gonna put it on right after I get done with this. I'm gonna go private and we're gonna put it on backstage and I'm gonna
watch it with you.
Watch it. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Unless Tom hits me up real hardcore for some Minecrafting.
Yeah. I'm not into video games, but I'll watch Puss in Boots with you.
All right. All right.
And by the way, season 3 of Star Trek Picard demolishes season 1 and 2, and it's actual Star Trek.
Okay.
There are some problems with it, but it's actual Star Trek.
But why should I watch? Why should I watch 3 seasons of a show to find out something's okay?
No. Just watch the 3rd season. Scrap the first 2. And you don't have to watch it. I'm just telling you, it's way better. They're like learning their lesson.
I'll watch it. Dude, I hope so. Oh my God, I hope so. I hope somebody in Hollywood takes note of the fact that Chris Rock just did a stand-up comedy thing.
I haven't seen it yet, so don't give it away.
I'm not. But it is woke as hell and okay. It's funny. It's real. It's based and woke. But you got to consider the perspective it comes from.
Right. Well, I have been seeing some cracks in the Hollywood thing.
Uh-huh.
Very, very subtle, like Puss in Boots, Star Trek Picard 3, a couple of different shows that have come out here and there that are going astray of this message that's been out there for so long. And I really think there is a concerted, like they canceled Star Trek Discovery. 5 seasons, they're done.
It's trash. It was trash from day one.
It's not just trash. It's the worst sci-fi that has ever been on television, period. And I'm including that Planet 9 shit. That's better. I'm just saying. So there's things that are lending me to believe that they might actually be like Top Gun. Did you see that, Maverick?
I haven't caught that one yet. I haven't been putting it off. I just haven't had the right circumstance to just sit down and watch a movie.
Right. First of all, Tom Cruise comes out and it just thanks the audience for watching. Nothing, no agenda, no message, just thank you for taking the time to watch my movie. And then the movie starts.
It's a beautiful thing.
And it's action, it's drama, it's everything you want it's basically the same movie again, and a little bit of Star Wars thrown in there for good measure. But there's no wokeness except for one line, and it's an omission. They don't name the enemy. It's just a random nebulous enemy. They never say the name of who they're fighting because you can't say that right now.
With this comedy special, he does address the Will Smith situation, but long before he does, he drops a single line about not needing any more angry rappers. And to me, that was the most cutting job he made the whole show, because he did not identify Will Smith as an actor, a writer, a producer, a director, anything but a rapper. And the man hasn't done rap in 15 years.
Right.
So he's not only just a rapper, he's a washed up rapper.
Yeah.
So by one statement, he completely demolishes the entire house of cards that is built around Will Smith by simply referring to him as an angry rapper.
A lot of stars have made complete asses of themselves over this past 10 years. I mean, really degraded. I mean, there's people I will not watch. I won't watch a Robert De Niro movie ever again.
Ever again.
Ever. He is such a tool. And I just lost so much respect for so many people, and other people have too.
And even some of the people that are put forward as being weird, right-wing, far-right weirdos aren't. They're moderate freaking Democrats is what they are.
I watch Joe Rogan, and then I'd watch Jordan Peterson, and then I watch Dave Rubin, the gay guy, and whatever, I watch a lot of people. Russell Brand, excellent commentary. A little weird, fast talking. But
I think we have to admit that Will Smith is a rapper, has been a rapper, and he was definitely angry. He was definitely angry that night.
Yeah, Will Smith was a rapper first. He didn't get his start till he got on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
That's right.
There was one before that was with him. There was a different DJ with him to start with, and I can't remember who that was.
Grandmaster P or something like that.
I don't remember. It was some dude, and he wasn't that great, apparently. Yeah. Whatever. All right, so we got the Eminem theory. You want to hear it?
Let's go.
Believe that in 2006, Eminem died in a car crash and it was covered up by his label. And again, like Paul McCartney, he was replaced. This is probably the least evidence-backed replacement theory, and one of the key pieces of evidence is...
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
McDonald song. On the song Cloned Rappers by Tom McDonald, he said, "If they can't control you, they erase the old you. They cloned Gucci, cloned Kodak, cloned Eminem. He ain't rapped since Encore. Know that." Beautiful lyricism. Damn. It doesn't help also that in 2015, B.O.B. went on a big rant about artists being cloned. So most of the evidence that backs up this claim is that Eminem's face either looks the same throughout his whole life, or sometimes other people say that his face looks drastically different. People also like to say that Eminem seemed to glitch on the Zane Lowe interview, even though he was clearly just trying to be funny. Also, of course, Eminem praised Jay-Z in a 2017 interview, and as we all know, Jay-Z is the face of the Illuminati. But another big piece of evidence supporting this theory is the fact that Eminem couldn't remember one of the music videos he was in.
Wasn't you on the beach running on that video? Was I in that video? Yeah, you was running on the beach. That was like your debut album. I was? You was running on the beach. Why with clothes on. You was running on the beach with damn near no clothes on. What the
Yo, you gotta show me that.
You was Slim Shady, cuz you was like crazy back then. Like real crazy. You don't remember that? Cuz you was running on the beach, cuz in the video. What? I don't even. What?
But most people in the comments are intelligent enough to realize M was probably just forgetful or he was on drugs at the time. It's safe to say that the Eminem replacement theory was essentially pulled out of thin air because he got older and looks different. Another artist that conspiracy theorists set their eyes on was Avril Lavigne. They believe that after the massive...
All right, your call on Eminem.
That's horseshit. I can see
Shit.
where it's still him. He may have had a brain aneurysm when he got in a car wreck and forgot some shit.
Yeah,
But
he
it's
may have
still
had a
him.
head injury or possibly an OD that we don't know about that changed his hardcore, changed his perspective on some things. But as far as being replaced, I don't think there's any cloning freaking facility out there remaking these guys. I think it's exactly like the Paul McCartney bit, right? Where they're like, they'll hold a competition, get a bunch of lookalikes in, pick the best one who's like homeless and on dope and be like, we'll get you fixed right up, but you've got to go stand in front of people and pretend to be this chick. And
that's entirely
after a
plausible.
few months and the types of hours these people put in, it would be easily similar to going through an MK Ultra program with all the flashing lights and everybody always repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again. It would be easy to forget who you were.
Dude, I totally saw Hillary Clinton a few times and I was relatively sure it was not her I was looking at.
We got one of those in town, man. She always wants to talk to somebody's manager. Let me tell you, this chick, man, it was really shocking because she do look a lot like the old Hillary. I pulled in at the jet up here, and this lady looked like Hillary Clinton jumped out, ran up to my driver's door, and started screaming, "Why did you take a right back there? You can't turn right on red." I said, "Welcome to Georgia, lady." The damn sure can. It's perfectly legal. There's no oncoming traffic. We can just roll that motherfucker. We can just go.
That's right.
But yeah, what do you think about Madonna?
I think
Robot?
she's a freakazoid.
Yeah, she's freaking. Well, I mean, you know,
I think if she gets one more facelift, she'll be blinking her lips.
The success of her debut album Let Go, the 17-year-old Avril Lavigne couldn't handle the fame and the attention, so she took her own life in 2003. Before doing so, she had a body double named Melissa Vandella, who was doing her meet and greets and all other press-related things, so Melissa took the place of Avril after she died. This theory spawned in 2011 on a Brazilian blog called Avril Esta Morta. Some of the evidence to prove she's a different person is differences in moles, birthmarks, and other facial features as well. She also had a promo picture taken with the word Melissa written on her hand, but it's likely she was just playing into the conspiracy. In the music video for Nobody's Home, there is something that flashes on the screen that says A plus D, which people believe means Avril is dead. There's another point in the video where Avril 2004 flashes on the screen and then an X pops up. People think that means that she died in 2004, but in reality, that's just the year that her album came out. Also in the video, there are two Avrils, one wearing a wig demonstrating some sort of story, and the other is singing in a black dress, which people believe symbolizes the old Avril mourning and Melissa pretending to be the new Avril. But again, in reality, Avril is just telling a story in the video and acting out a character. But another big piece of evidence for this conspiracy is how Avril's voice supposedly sounds different.
What you yelling for? Let your back, it's all been done before. Out what you yelling for? Lay back, it's all been done before.
But in my opinion, that can just be explained by her getting old.
Is it just me, or does she sound uncannily like a very young Alanis Morissette?
Yeah, I think she's going for that.
The rest of the other clues aren't really worth getting into as they can be easily explained away and the conspiracy theorists have no proof. Most of the evidence for this theory is that she doesn't dress the same and does different things than she did when she was 17. But that's just growing up. The funniest part about this whole situation is the guy who made the theory on the Brazilian website said that it's fake and he made it up for his own reasons. Here's what Avril's had to say about the situation.
Yeah, some people think that I'm not the real me, which is so weird. Like, why would they even think that?
But a theory that's actually much more interesting, in my opinion, than the replacement theory.
Solid argument.
The Kanye theory.
So weird. Why would you think that?
This theory suggests that
Avril Lavigne.
I think she's fine.
You think she's fine? Yeah, she's definitely fine.
Did you hear her argument? I mean, you can't beat that logic. It's so weird. Why would people think that I'm not me? I'm sold.
Good enough to suit me. I don't really care as long as like I don't have to answer that question. We're good. Because Because let me be honest with you, man. You know that bit where Eminem says he when he was young, like, I hung my original self from the top bunk with a belt. I used to have this very freaking nightmare. That nightmare that there were two me's and I had to kill the other one to live. And that was a nightmare I had a few times. But
I think you might have woke up during a Star Trek show and went back to sleep. And
don't care. Doesn't matter. It's the memory I have, not the one you gave me.
No, my sister had that dream about me that I was two people. I've never had such a dream.
I had a dream that I was two people, and I would wake up tangled up in my freaking blanket trying to fight something off that didn't exist, you know?
Yeah, I've done that, but it's never been a thing. It's nebulous. Just whatever I'm fighting, I don't want to be part of it. That's all there is to it. But
to quote
I've never
Eminem,
had a name or a face to it.
To quote Eminem, I hung my original self from the top bunk with the belt. That's the dream. And when I heard that shit, it actually impacted me in a weird way because I never told a soul about that dream. No one on earth had ever heard it because it's the craziest possible thing I could think of. So I used to have this repeating dream where I would kill myself on a regular basis, but I wouldn't die because it was a different me.
Well, can I tell you something that might make you feel a little better? In the old golden era of the earth, everyone on planet Earth at the exact same time across the exact same parallel of latitude, you can draw a pencil on a globe and make a line and hit every one of them. Every continent started building pyramids at the same time on the same latitude line on Earth.
You heard it here first.
That's to say that there's more than one person that gets an idea from wherever ideas come from.
Leave the whiskey and the bowl on the headboard. Check back in an hour, Patrick. Death is a metaphor for change. I just want a little change. That's all, but not death. You know, a little change from my pocket going jing-a-ling-a-linga.
Jing-a-linga.
That the late artist David Bowie predicted the life of Kanye West and painted him as a successor of some sort. So in June of 1972, David Bowie released his album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Quite the mouthful. The idea was that the character Ziggy Stardust was a messianic rock star, some sort of savior of the world.
So Ziggy was, for me, a very simplistic thing. It was what it seemed to be, an alien rock star. I dressed him and acted him out. I left it at that. But other people reread him and contributed more information about Ziggy than I had put into him.
But some people believe that some of the songs and the album cover actually predicted the birth of Kanye West. So in the cover, we can obviously see David Bowie sitting below a sign that says K West, which many people think is referring to Kanye. Bowie briefly commented on the artwork by saying, "People read so much into the K West sign, they thought K West must be some sort of code for quest. It took on all these sort of mystical overtones." So he never directly commented.
But it'd be a lot cooler if you were.
Yeah. And by the way, the earth is absolutely flat as far as you're concerned.
On people saying,
"Oh shit, screwed the pooch on that one, dude."
What happened? There you go.
Yeah, I screwed it. I double clicked something I shouldn't ought to have.
Kanye, but he did make it seem like there's no deeper meaning behind it. It turns out that the K in the sign stood for Khan because Henry Khan was the owner of the store, and West referred to the location of the building in the city. Then in the first song, 5 Years, Bowie sings about how there are only 5 years left until Earth ends because of a lack of natural resources. The idea was that Ziggy Stardust was the messianic rock star who would save the world. And guess who was born just 5 years after the release of the album? Kanye West was born almost exactly 5 years after the album was released. But it doesn't end just there. 2 days before he passed away, David Bowie released his final album, Black Star. People like to think that this album was Bowie's way of passing the torch to Kanye for a variety of different reasons. One of the main reasons is because Bowie had apparently talked to a psychic in the late 70s who told him he was going to die at either 70 or 69. And Bowie passed away when he was 69 years old in 2016, so Bowie knew his death was coming. On the title track, Bowie sings, "Something happened on the day he died. Spirit rose a meter, then stepped aside. Somebody else took his place and bravely cried." Obviously, people think think Kanye was the one who took Bowie's place. They also point to the third song on Black Star being titled Lazarus, which is a reference to the biblical story of Lazarus, who was raised from the dead by Jesus after 4 days of being dead. Then on Kanye's 2013 album Yeezus, the third track is titled I Am God. So I guess theorists believe that Kanye metaphorically embodies Jesus and raised Bowie from the dead within himself. I'm honestly not sure how that correlates, but that's what everyone says.
I got one for you.
Hold on, I'm still trying to get Kanye West and David Bowie in the same sentence. Go ahead.
Actually, in light of your recent strike, I'm not going to pitch that one. That one's just a little too wide of the mark, baby. A little
Just
too
let
on
it go.
point.
I hear ya.
We'll get to that in the after show. Anybody wants to check out the movie or hear my stupid theory that's really dumb and might get me Arkansas?
I'll remind you because I want to hear it.
It's a good one. It's got
But,
legs.
Stupid people, none of those facts are correct, just so you know.
They also point to an interview Bowie did in 1974 with Rolling Stone where he says, as soon as Ziggy dies on stage, the infinites take his elements and make themselves visible. And since Kanye was among many other celebrities who tweeted about Bowie's death shortly after it was announced, I guess that means Kanye is David Bowie's successor. And the final piece of concrete evidence is that David Bowie's final album was titled Black Star, and Kanye West is literally a black star. So it really just seems like a bunch of coincidences.
Dun,
with little correlation.
Oh, Jesus.
Stevie Wonder
This is a
isn't
rumor
blind.
that I'm
He
That's
is
a
legally
fact.
blind.
No,
He is
Stevie
legally
Wonder
blind.
can absolutely see. I've caught him doing it. You can't convince me otherwise.
True.
He's not
True.
blind.
He's not 100% blind, but that was never the claim. He can't drive. He's at least
Yes,
he's
he
not
can. I've
supposed
seen him
to.
do it.
But he can apparently see light and dark and movement and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
so
he can see about as good as I can, maybe a little worse. And you know my vision.
What's up, Ghost Eagle? Welcome to the show. Al SoCal. Good to see you.
His problem, as it has always been, is he is extremely light sensitive, which is why he wears shades. But I have seen him catch a falling microphone stand. I've seen him take a photograph with a camera.
Whose
I
link
have
you
seen
want,
him
bud?
drive a car.
Which link?
Huh?
You're in my chat, so I'm assuming you want Jake's link. Can you drop your link in chat, or do I need to do it?
You need to do it because I can't access your chat. Wait a
Um,
minute. Wait a minute. I think there's a box down here that I can. Let me see if it works. I think they changed something.
or is that just a private chat? I'll let this roll while we work it out.
I'm sure most of you have heard, but it's that the famous musician Stevie Wonder can actually see. Now, apart from being known as an extremely talented artist and musical pioneer, he's also known for being blind. In fact, it's referenced in probably hundreds of rap songs, like Lil Wayne's
need to do it.
fantastic line, "Don't want to be in the blind, but sometimes I Stevie Wonder about her." But most of these rumors stem from the time in 2010 when fake Paul McCartney knocked over a mic stand and Stevie Wonder caught it. People caught wind of this and thought that Stevie was lying about being blind. There have also been a ton of celebrities telling stories about Stevie being able to see, or at least doing things that they don't think blind people can do.
I'm already in the building. I'm coming through the lobby. Door open. This is Stevie Wonder. He comes in, says, "What's up, Shaq?" Presses the button. Oh, it's your story. Presses the button.
I can explain that one hands down. So let's say you're a mostly blind individual. You're not sure who it was that stepped into the elevator with you, but you know for a fact that you are at a championship bout and that Shaq regularly appears at these bouts and that you're going to the same group of skyboxes that he's going to probably. And you walk into an elevator where half the elevator is occupied by something around the size of 3 gorillas. Hi, Shaq. How you doing? I don't need eyes to figure that one out because it's either Shaq, Elegante, or Andre the Giant. Those two guys didn't show up to this fight. Shaq might have.
Yeah. But he is not blind.
The link gave you a runaround. Hold up. Let me try
Take
it.
the at out of it. It's youtube.com/untethered live.
Let's try it this way. This is I did it from the source page instead of like, or rather I did it from the search page rather than the source page. That should just take you straight to his channel.
That's exactly the same thing you posted last time.
It is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That is weird. What is
Just
it?
take the at out of it. You only use the at if you're
It goes
on
there.
YouTube.
It goes straight there. That works.
Okay.
At least it works on my phone.
Well, there you go. That's me.
Yeah, his mom did tell him if he didn't stop doing that, he'd go blind. That is true.
That's right. He stopped just shy.
Bathtub, go to the room.
But there is a pretty good explanation for this. You see, Stevie Wonder wasn't actually born blind. He was born prematurely and had some issues during treatment, so he developed ROP, which is an eye disorder that permanently damaged his eyes. He rarely ever reveals his eyes, but as you can see in his 1989 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame acceptance speech, his eyes are severely damaged. It's likely that he may have some sort of partial blindness, but he's still legally blind. Blind people are also known to have other enhanced senses like hearing, smell, and touch, as it's the body's way of coping with not being able to see. He's even addressed the rumors before.
And tell them also, whoever's spreading a rumor around at any time, when it's not true, instead of you all paying them or whoever, give me the money so I can give it to my foundation.
So I highly doubt Stevie Wonder's been lying about being blind this whole time. A much more interesting and highly classified conspiracy theory is the wind of change theory. In 1990, just after the Berlin Wall fell, the German band The Scorpions released a song called Wind of Change. This song is one of the best-selling singles of all time. It holds the record for best-selling single by a German artist, and the song served as an anthem to the end of the Cold War. It's said that the lead singer Klaus Meine wrote the song after performing at the Moscow Music Peace Festival, the first rock festival allowed in Russia since rock had been banned for a while. Apparently, he was inspired by how much Russia was changing and how many fans the band had in the country. But some people think that this song was actually written by the CIA as some sort of psyop to aid the West fight against communism. One of the largest pieces of evidence for this theory is that Klaus never usually wrote songs other than a few lyrics here and there, but apparently he never wrote full songs. There's actually a whole 8-part podcast series investigating this.
Do what?
That reminded me of something, that the CIA wrote that song, that comment.
Yeah.
Do you know who Jim Morrison is?
Yeah.
Do you know who Jim Morrison's father is?
Yeah.
Jim Morrison's dad is a general in the Navy, and he was head of the Gulf of Tonkin incident. It was his ship that was doing that. So
I got another one.
There is a CIA connection to Jim Morrison, The Doors, and the songs that he wrote, and it was to corral the populace into a certain way of thinking at a certain time because of the war that was going on. And those things do happen. For example, every time in the past that there has been a nuclear problem, like like Japan, when we nuked Japan, they come out with all these Godzilla movies at the exact same time. Every single time that there's a spy plane being worked on, we start hearing about UFOs. Think about it.
Hey, make stupid people famous. We might all be slaves, but we can use proper grammar. That's you are, not your. They're not my slaves.
That's right. Use proper grammar. English, do you speak it?
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. If you're gonna poke at me like that, you gotta let
That's
me
right.
poke back.
If you're gonna poke, spell it right.
Hey, dude, you want to watch a new movie? We're gonna do that in about 3 minutes, man.
Give me a second. I need to go get a drink. I'll be right back.
You do okay?
Okay.
Skadoosh. So yeah, y'all. We're gonna take the last bit of this this here video backstage. I'm gonna pop in a movie and we're gonna watch that while I go to the store and get me some victuals. Some victualizations. Hydrogen not needed. Yeah. Yeah. Blue Bus, right? Oh, dude, Peace Frog is one of my favorite songs ever created. It is absolutely amazing. Crystal Ship was absolutely phenomenal. I really, really, really dig. Yeah, you're not coming. Hold up. Okay. No, you're good. Just show me you. I'll pop you up here. Do you want to wait for the movie? All right. Well, that's been our show tonight. And each and every one of you, I appreciate y'all coming by. I really dig these talks that we have. I like the idea of going and finding some weird esoterica, just some weird stuff to put in front of y'all. I'll let y'all check it out, decide if y'all want to go talk to these people or subscribe to these people or whatever. I had a little more planned to do, but apparently this is the limit that we've reached, and we have reached that limit. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all always welcome here. Don't be strange, because people are strange, right? So I'm going to do my intro as my outro again. That's how we're going to roll it. What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning your lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile, yeah.